The Google I/O keynote for 2014 has come to a close, and as all of the people over here file out of this huge room, you know what time it is. It's Joshua Vergara from Android Authority. What's going on, everybody? And this is the Google I/O 2014 keynote rundown. So obviously one of the first things that we do kind of have to talk about, because you're going to see a lot of news stories about it all over the internet, at least right now, or at least when it just happened, was that there were a couple protesters here at the show. Now I'm not too sure how they even got in. That's what I'm most curious about, whether they were press or maybe they were people that actually paid to be here. But essentially a couple people came out and they were just saying that Google either needs to get a conscience or they build killer robots that kill people. Well, obviously you're dealing with a crowd that will not believe in such a thing, so they were easily escorted out of the room, and who knows what happened to them, probably arrested or something like that. Really, the first huge announcement that we got was a preview of the new L series. Now, whether that's going to be called something like Lemon Drop or Lollipop or Licorice is something that we don't know just yet, but it's just L, so that's the L preview that we're going to have. And it will be available for all of the developer edition phones that are available out right now, but also you will be able to get the image from the Nexus 5, for example, and that's something we're going to be working on right away to bring you a look at what the L preview kind of brings to the table. But a couple of things that I wanted to talk about there are just the new design elements. And now, if you updated your Google Plus application in recent weeks, then you probably have had a little bit of a taste of what this particular material design, is what they're calling it, is all about. Basically, it's about providing depth, and whether that's through having drop shadows behind particular elements or bringing certain elements forward while dimming the background a little bit. It's just a way of showing you exactly what you're looking at in a way that puts it front and center. And also from there, it also provides a nice sort of apparatus for creating animation that sort of make everything flow in and out of the general space. Whether or not that's because you press on a particular type of element on there and it comes out, maybe like a line or a notification that comes up in the drop-down, is kind of what they're kind of going for here in this new version of Android. They say it's going to be the biggest release of Android yet, and we will have a bigger review, or rather preview of it for you a little bit later on once we get the image on one of our devices. One of our guys is going to be able to do that, as I don't have my Nexus 5 on me at the moment. So from there, the L preview is really the basis, so it's really the platform by which the integration with all of the different devices across the ecosystem is going to be. And we got a lot of previews from that. There are things like Android Wear and Android Auto, which I'm going to go ahead and get into. We got a lot of great announcements here, and yes, they are typically developer-centric, so it's something that a lot of us consumers may not always be able to get into, but that's the point of Google I/O. It's for the developers, about being able to develop great apps, being able to develop great experiences across all particular devices, no matter if they're smartphones or smartwatches or anything like that. So we got a lot of information, especially in the middle, about Google Cloud, Google Play services, and new ways that developers will be able to get their work done in an easy fashion. And aside from that, however, we also got a lot of great announcements when it came to the integration of our devices and the collaboration that our devices can have in order to make our experiences even better. The first one, of course, has to do with wearable tech. Wearable tech is a big deal this year, and we got to see previews of particular devices like the LG G Watch. Samsung is falling in line and creating their own version of a smartwatch as well, based on Android Wear, and that's the Samsung Gear Live. And then after that, of course, the Motorola 360. While the first two are going to be available later today for order on Google Play, we will not be seeing the Moto 360 until later this summer. One thing that was very interesting to me was the inclusion of automobiles when it comes to Android integration. And Android Auto is the name of that particular wing of Android. And essentially what it will do is it will work into the interface of the screen that is inside of your car. And it's an apparatus by which you can easily access all of your Android capabilities and whatnot, and be able to easily text or do music or play music or do navigation without having to take your eyes off of the wheel. Now, one of the quick things that I thought of when I first saw that was the fact that, well, you still have to touch the screen, so anybody who is prone to distractions will probably have a problem with that. They'll still be looking at the screen a little bit more than they are looking at the road, but for the most part, it is a nice way of integrating the Android ecosystem, whether it's the smartphone or the smartwatch, into the automobile. And yes, texting while driving is something that I think we all do on some level, or at least looking at our phones to either change the song or to check the navigation steps. But all in all, being able to make the automobile safer for all of us is something that I think is a great idea. Let's move on from there and finally into the Android TV announcement. Now, Android TV is not necessarily new, but it is a new way of looking at what was once just a smart application on top of Google TV, which is what it was originally called. Android TV is yet again another API that is going to be put into various televisions that will be released over the next year. So you are going to need to get a television that actually has that functionality inside, but it integrates perfectly with your smartphone, and you are actually able to use your smartphone as the remote control for the TV, as an app will be made available that pretty much works as your remote control. Google Games is a great addition to Android TV that I think a lot of people are going to love, in that you will be able to play a bunch of games on Android TV and be able to play multiplayer games as well on that big screen, even if that other person is playing from somewhere else on their tablet or their smartphone. So that is a great integration there. But Android TV is a big development, and unfortunately, not all of us will be able to get an Android TV as easily, whether it's because of cost or because of the fact that we already have a great TV and we're not really looking to replace it anytime soon. But from there, we do have Chromecast, which has been given a little bit of an update as well. Now, Chromecast has been given a few new features that I think we've all kind of been waiting for, primarily being able to change the background on the actual splash screen that comes up and be able to put our own photos on there, and that is exactly what they did. Being able to put your own photos on there is kind of a big deal, and I think it's a great addition that is available. From there, you are actually able to cast what is on your smartphone straight to your TV, and I'm talking about the entire screen. This is full screencast capability that is available, and that will allow you to get a lot done on your TV as opposed to on your smartphone, and just be able to really blow up that image and do anything from there. After that, another good feature about Chromecast is the fact that if anybody comes to your house, for example, and goes to your living room, you will be able to let them cast from their smartphone to your Chromecast using the cloud. At first, I thought it was kind of problematic because someone might be able to create an application or some sort of a hack that would be able to take a look at the information stored in the Chromecast and get the password of your Wi-Fi network. I still think that might be a little bit of a problem, but we have been told that it's going to be an opt-in system. You will only be able to allow certain people that you trust to be able to connect to the Chromecast using this feature. So the Chromecast is getting a lot of play as well. So if you don't happen to have the resources or whatnot to be able to get an Android TV, at least the Chromecast is still a great viable solution to be able to get all of those services, maybe not the entire functionality, but a good amount of it onto your Chromecast, and be able to do it in an affordable fashion. And I kind of want to know what the future is when it comes to the Chromebooks. Now, Chromebooks have been given their own section inside of the presentation, and while there aren't necessarily that many huge announcements when it came to the Chromebooks, it still shows that the Chromebooks are a viable, very viable alternative to all of the PCs and the Macs that are out there, especially for people who are working. And there was a lot of focus on what it looked like using Chromebooks when you're working and being able to sync with all of your coworkers and be able to share everything that you are putting together. Chromebooks are kind of still a little bit of a fringe product, at least for me. You want to be able to get much video editing done, but as far as just pure text editing and maybe some simple on the cloud functionality, Chromebooks are a very good and viable solution, and they happen to be one of the most popular apparatuses for people out there who need exactly that. So as you can see, they're taking all of the chairs out and everyone's kind of filing out. There's a huge crowd over there. That's why I'm taking my time over here, because being able to get through that crowd is going to be absolutely nuts. All in all, this was a great show. All of the lights, there was a very interesting countdown apparatus over there that eventually turned into this large contraption that pretty much just announced that it was time for the show to start. But there's still a lot to look forward to here at Google I/O. I will be attending a few sessions like I told you earlier, and I will share a few of the things that they do talk about at these. I will go to some wearable sessions and some Android sessions, so I will have some information for you there. But stay tuned because I will be picking up my LG G Watch pretty soon. I have my pick of that or the Gear Live, and I think the G Watch is the newer, or rather the fresher of the two devices, since we already have Gears. So I'm going to go for that. Stay tuned for an unboxing of the G Watch and also my first impressions of it. And after this conference is over, I'll give you second impressions just to show you really what the functionality is and how I feel about using it throughout something like this conference. So keep it tuned to Android Authority for all of the best coverage. Make sure you drop us some likes on our videos and to stay tuned for all of our great coverage of Google I/O. Make sure you head on over to AndroidAuthority.com because the writing team has been hard at work to bring you the great coverage from here and to bring you some analysis of what the announcements were. So keep it tuned here and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already so you can keep up with all of our coverage. And remember that Android Authority is your source for all things Google I/O.